Hello friends, those back pages here. I hope you're well. The hobby is alive. The hobby is alive. Contrary to popular belief, opinions, lately, the hobby is very much alive. One could argue that now is the greatest time ever to collect. Collecting's never been better than it is right now. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. There are people that say, oh, vintage is the best. There are people that say ultra modern is the best. The right answer is yes. Both are the best. Like I said, there's never been a better time to collect than right now. Think about 40 years ago, if you were around like I was as a boy, as a kid, not a boy, a kid, 1984. I was 13 most of the year, and you could collect Topps, Donruss, and Fleer. If you got wild, you could get O-Pee-Chee. If you got a little more crazy, you could collect like Drake's and various food issues and oddball stuff, and even Nestle put out cards that year. I still have yet to own the 84 Nestle Mattingly. I think I have Strawberry, but I definitely do not have Mattingly. But that was pretty much the run of the mill. I mean, you could almost literally collect everything. Was that better? Debatable, I suppose. It was definitely a good time. But nowadays, you've got more sets and parallels than I can remember or even try to guess, really. And some people say, oh, that's terrible, that's a bad thing. Well, I guess that's subjective, but it gives you something to aim for, something to keep collecting. There is no rush to collect. You know, Topps Chrome Update is still being pumped hard by the Payola people and fanatics. And because I don't think the Skeens has even been discovered yet. Whether it was released is a whole other topic. But yeah, there's never been a better time to collect than right now. Is it cheaper? No, it costs more now, pretty much like everything else in life. But there are ways. I still see people say, oh, I'm priced out on wax. I'm not, I'm out, I'm done. I might come back when the wax prices go back to normal. You know, I don't know if the prices are going to go back to normal. Sure, they've come down some on some products, but I don't know if they're universally going to come back down. It is what it is. It's a bigger business now than it ever has been. But this day before Thanksgiving, I just wanted to shoot a little video and you know, that I'm thankful for the hobby. I'm thankful for my friends in the hobby. A friend of mine, Tim, over at the Alaska Sports Cards now is his channel name. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description. I'm terrible at it, but I will try to remember. He recently picked up a card that he's been looking for 9 years to finish a set he's been working on for 9 years. You know, I won't spoil it. I'll let you go over and view his content. And Tim's he's a good dude, and so if you're not following him, please do. Been slow, actually. I'm thinking about it now. I was thinking about this on my walk today as November 2024 comes to an end. This is probably the slowest month purchasing wise for me in a long time, and it's not intentional. It's just the way it worked out. As I try to personally make my purchases count more. I've talked about this before, but trying to good friend of mine inside the hobby and out. We talk a lot, pretty much every day, and I won't say who he is because it's not my place, but we've had discussions about baseball cards, and he said, really, I don't want to own anything that there's more than 100 known copies. And I found that interesting, and he said this to me a couple weeks back, but every once in a while we rehash it, and I wish I could have that discipline, that focus, but I am trying to be better at it. Like, again, if you go on eBay and there's 20 or 30 or 100 of something readily available simply by clicking buy it now, maybe it's best to, for myself, someone in my position, again, there's no wrong way to collect. Everyone says that. But, my stage of the collecting game, maybe it's better to hold off on that. Big fan of Bobby Witt. And, I don't have his 2022 Topps Chrome Update base graded. Shouldn't really be a rush to go out and get one. They are readily available, that type of thing. Like, again, but that's just me. I mean, I don't have any cards handy, but I'm fortunate enough to be where I am in my collecting journey. So it's just something I constantly think about when I'm constantly thinking about the hobby. Another thing I wanted to mention, and this resonated with me, and it's been a couple of weeks. I was watching a podcast on YouTube, a video. Carlson Cards. I can't remember his first name. We're not friends or anything, but I do watch his videos. I think pretty much every Sunday he puts out he interviews a collector. It's probably about an hour-long video, and each particular collector pretty much has a specific focus. And his circle of friends, himself and his circle of friends, are very, what I would classify as very high-end collectors. Like, for example, he himself is working on the Veterans and Hall of Famers section, half of the 2013 Select Football Gold Prisms, which I think are numbered to 10 or 25. Might be 25. It's either 10. I think it is 10, actually. So, again, we're talking, top of the food chain type stuff, which isn't for me, but I don't mind learning and discovering new things and possibly, and that's one of the things I'm thankful for as we approach Thanksgiving, is that always learning and seeing different aspects, different ways people collect, and different avenues to explore sometimes sparks like, oh, that's a good idea. What if I take that and apply that to this or whatnot? Whatever. It's funny how the word whatnot has changed since the pandemic, and to say whatnot used to be an old person saying, but now it's a form, whatever. But point being is that, like, watching this interview, I don't remember what the subject was prison football, and at the time he was saying he and the person he was interviewing were talking about opening boxes and how they enjoy opening boxes, but the price of boxes now is so expensive that they don't really bother. And they made a perfect example, like, and it kind of applies to now because 2024 Prism football is about to come out. I know we're almost in December and the season's 75% over, but it is what it is. That's a problem all around. But I think even the 23 Prism football hobby box, let's use 23 because they're like $1,000 a box. Yeah, that's not a typo. That's not a misspeak. It's the price of what they are. And there's 12 packs, and I think 12 cards in a pack or something silly. And they were talking about this, and they were right. Like, okay, you could open that, or you could buy a 13 select box, or like they used a perfect example, like a 15 Prism to stick to the same brand. A 2015 Prism box, which at the time of this broadcast, this recording was probably like a month ago. A 2015 Prism hobby box was like $250 or $300, and a 23 Prism hobby box was $1,000. And you know, you're talking almost 4-to-1 ratio. You almost get 4 15 boxes. Oh yeah, but you know, 15. You know, I think Jameis Winston's probably still the only guy. Well, no, it's a year before Henry, so before Derrick Henry. But the point they made that resonated with me is that when you open a 2015 Prism football box, you know what you're getting. There are not going to be any surprises. There are not going to be any, oh, this guy could be good, but he winds up sucking. Which, in today's current boxes, that's pretty much, 90% of the players are going to suck, if not more. It just is what it is. That's the nature of the sport, the nature of the hobby. So when you're opening the 15 boxes, the 2015 boxes, you know what you're getting as soon as you open it. This player, oh, hey, good memory, like, what's his name? I'm missing names now, but if you pull a Brady, it's a Brady. It's still a Brady. It's going to be a Brady. Plus the quality, and I guess even not more importantly, but another fact is that the quality is going to be better. The actual build of the product in 15 is better than it is now. There's still a lot of parallels, but not like there are now. That type of thing, and that resonated with me, and I think that can even apply to baseball. And I've talked about this before, that you could buy a 2024 Bowman Chrome draft box for, and the cost of it is what we used to pay for a case back in the day, 2007, 2008. You could buy a case for what one box costs today, and not that those old cases are still readily available, but they're out there, and they're not cheap anymore. But if you push hard enough, you could probably get one for 3 boxes of today's product. Or, oh yeah, but those guys, they all, they wound up sucking. Well, okay, they did, but just like today's are going to wind up sucking. It's just the way it is. So it's just something to think of. If you must open wax, there are ways to do so. You don't have to open the brand new stuff. And if you have to open the brand new stuff, open the brand new stuff. I mean, it's your money. You do what you want with it. There are people that are trying to steer you in the right direction, but everyone pays their own learning tax at the end. I mean, it's not everything is a winner. Not every purchase is going to be, gain. You know, it's part of your collecting journey, really. So those are just some of the things I wanted to get out there and touch on as we wind up the second to last month of the year. And it's just funny to me that, you know, the hobby is dying. You see people saying the hobby is not dying. The hobby, quite frankly, the hobby will never die. Collectors will die because everyone dies. Everyone dies. No one lives forever. People enter and leave the hobby all the time. The hobby is a glorious thing. Collecting is a glorious thing. It's important, in my opinion. But I do have a couple of things coming in the mail. I've shot quite a few of these non-card videos. It's weird, but it is what it is, right? But I do have some cards to show off, but I'm waiting for another. I thought it was going to arrive today. It was supposed, you know, the website said it was coming in today, and it's today, and it's not here, but that's okay. That was I'll give you a little hint. It was an actual 10. I bought a 10. I paid the 10 tax because I can't find a 9. And sometimes you do that. You can't find a 9. You want to own the card. It's only a 10. There aren't a bunch of these to go around. But that's for next time. So I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. You know, all of that is important. I mean, if you're going to be alone for the holiday, make a YouTube video or watch YouTube videos or buy something for yourself on eBay or just enjoy yourself. Interact with some other collectors. It's just, the hobby is amazing, people, and it's not dying.